Hi, I am Allie Camilletti, and you are listening to Snack Leadership. I will be talking about everything leadership, broken down into bite-sized pieces. You will hear what different leadership skills look like in organizations and how they can rise teams up or take them down. I help leaders build resilience and improve performance by bringing awareness to opportunity behaviors in my business. Spark your mindset. I provide leadership and sales coaching, as well as team building and guest speaking. My hope is for you to feel inspiration and to create a spark in your mindset. Hi everyone. Today we are going to be talking about sales method. They say sales method is a framework or set of principles that guides your sales process to close clients. Now, we already talked with Todd Lawrence, and he shared his sales method, which was fun because it is a little different than mine, as we discovered. And my sales method that has been true to my heart, that has been something that I have lived and I've embodied, is relationship building sales. Part of what I do with my consulting is I also work with one client at a time, specifically with relationship building sales. And this is where I help their team members embody relationship building. And for me, this looks like a set of standards that I will speak to. We often will start with the DISC, where we'll understand them individually, we'll understand others and how they operate, and how to identify other behavior styles to know how to sell to them. One of the big pieces for me on building relationships that I will always go back to, and I believe is the base of also leadership, is asking questions. How do you know how to communicate or sell to someone if you don't know their needs? And you must push yourself to ask at least 2 questions. And then we go into how you connect with them and what that looks like. But if you try to connect through a relationship way and you really don't know what's important to them, it misses the mark. So I found this blog on Everyone's Social, and it says why relationship building selling is still the most important tactic salespeople need to master. I've talked a lot about how we are living in a disconnected world, and there's more emphasis every time I turn around on human connection. That is what relationship building sales is. And as we think about the world evolving, there's all kinds of different sales tactics, just as Todd shared with us his, and different technologies that we can use to close new customers, retain current ones. But we really just need to go back to the old school, relationship building. It is a tough world for salespeople, especially when we talk to business. But there's a wealth of knowledge and techniques out there that will help sales team members achieve success and reach their goals. And that's why I like to use DISC, because it helps them identify if they're a dominant behavior style and they're trying to communicate to somebody that is really warm and fuzzy or all compliant and wants to know data, they're going to struggle. So let's understand the questions those type of people ask to identify them. And then let's sell to them how they want to be sold to. That's really relationship building selling. So if we talk about the definition specifically, relationship selling is all about the connection and relationship a salesperson builds with their customers and potential buyers. A human interaction where the salesperson generally cares about connecting with their customer or buyer. For me, I just kind of look at it like, hey, let's get to know one another, and we'll see if our values match. And if they do, and you have a need, I'm happy to support you in that need. But that's instead of just focusing on pricing of a product or service. The priority is on the interaction and building trust. You must build trust. And so that's a level of transparency, of authenticity, predictability, consistency. But what's really coming up is people are not doing the follow-up. And that is creating reduced amount of trust, which does not build relationships. I see it as a consumer. It's very disheartening. And I've even heard it when I'm coaching reservation sales agents, and they're like, these people were really surprised that I even called them back. I'm like, yeah, because our level of sales has gone down so much that it's amazing if somebody actually makes an effort and reaches out to them. So why does it matter? Well, when we look at the data out there, what is being said is that 82% of decision makers think sales reps are unprepared. Ooh, absolutely. And so, yeah, you may be new at your position, and that's okay. But we don't need to broadcast that. Instead of saying that we don't know, I'm going to find out for you, and I will get back to you by this time. If I don't have the answer, you're still going to hear from me. And then follow up. Hopefully you will have the answer. If you don't, say, you know what? It looks like there's another piece to this that I'm working through. I'll be able to give you a call by this date. But you don't blame or talk badly about whoever is not giving you the information that you need to follow up and help this person. Be prepared. 68% of customers are lost because of indifference or perceived apathy, not because of mistakes. There's just no real reason to stay with them. And I know as a consumer, I have felt that before. There's no connection. Whereas if I have a direct relationship with that company, I am loyal to them as a consumer. According to Gallup, only 46% of customers said vendors deliver on what was promised. Again, the follow-through, it is key. I see it all the time. So those kinds of stats show why focusing on relationship selling and generally showing an interest in more than a sale is important. Plus, with all the tools and sales technology, it can be distracting and make it seem that those items are enough to build sales. But building a rapport with a customer and new buyers matters. Why? Current customers or clients. One of the main reasons relationship selling exists is to boost salespeople's personal connection to their customers and clients. Without building a working relationship, customers may feel like they are just a number. Worse, they may not view you as a trustworthy person. It all comes back to trust, especially if you aren't delivering on things you previously discussed. Now, when it comes to signing a contract or continuing a working relationship, they may feel less important. That has a much greater chance of moving on to a competitor if they don't feel important. And that can cost you a long-term sale. It can also affect the chances of upselling them and hurt your word-of-mouth marketing to their colleagues, who may have also bought your product or services as well. Word-of-mouth praise and recommendations can really elevate sales and deals. We know the best way to get customers is by referral and spreading that positive word of mouth. While relationship selling techniques are important for customers and clients, it can also affect potential buyers who are talking with you and closing in on a purchasing decision. It's true that it's generally easier to keep a customer that's current than trying to secure a brand new one, right? The amount that goes out in marketing dollars and work. But it is why relationship selling is even more important for new potential buyers. Without trying to build a connection, the buyer may feel like they are only a bunch of dollar signs to you. while you may get some sales that way, there's not much trust or confidence built that way. People coming to you who are brand new don't know you well and will generally start formulating an opinion of you right away. People love to judge. Even if you have the best product or pricing, you can still cause a sale to not close because of your own selfish interests or lack of interest in their challenges. Because the tactic of relationship selling has been around forever, there are plenty of techniques out there. However, with the shift of technology platforms and industries, some of those techniques may not be necessarily useful. In my own business, I still use a good old Excel spreadsheet, and I love it. And that is how I do my sales follow-up. I make notes in it, and I outline when I contacted them last, when we worked together last, when I'm supposed to contact them again. There are many that still matter, and new relationship selling techniques have also developed in the last few years. Become an active listener. It's easy for salespeople to ramble on because of excitement about the product and being focused on closing the deal. But in order to find success and connect with a customer or buyer, you need to speak less and actually engage more in listening. I know, even though I coach on this, I am guilty of this. I get so excited about business and building relationships that I want to share and talk about what I've experienced and what I've seen. Slow it down, zip it up, ask good open-ended questions. Prospects and customers always like you more. This will help you understand what their needs are and their challenges, and help you tailor your pitch and solutions to them effectively. Now, practice social selling to add value. So, social selling itself is a whole separate tactic, but is the perfect technique to add to your relationship selling practice. They say 9 out of 10 business-to-business buyers say online content has a moderate to major effect on purchasing decisions. I will say, on LinkedIn, I am paying attention to companies out there, and I am watching how they act. I am watching how they act when they are called out, how they respond. I pay attention to what their values are on social media. If they are that consumer or that potential client that is talking bad about others, I don't want to work with them. Values do not align if somebody's doing that on social media, because that's not how I roll. 84% of CEOs and VPs use social media to make purchasing decisions. Absolutely. 80% of business decision makers prefer to get company information from a series of articles versus an advertisement. 55% of business-to-business buyers search for information on social media. I do. Absolutely. Sales reps using social media as part of their sales techniques outsell 78% of their peers. Now, I will say there's all this content that you have to post this many times, this many days. I don't follow any of that. But I know that people are going to go to social media and they're going to make judgments. And so I'm a once to twice a week poster, and I feel that works fine for my own business. Everybody's business is different though. But you want to interact with social content out there. If you are looking to actually bring on, whether it be a platform or whatever, or you're selling yourself, you're going to interact with the others on social media. This way you're keeping your name in front of them online during the sales cycle and providing value too. Same applies to current customers, being nurturing with them through genuine social interests. It's the exact same. In the end, I am a big advocate for relationship building sales. And it takes me back to this moment when I was getting a shuttle back when I left my car to be worked on one day. And this older retired gentleman was driving me back home. And I like to ask questions. So I asked, "So what did you used to do before you were retired?" And he said, "Oh, I was a salesman." And I'm like, "Oh, tell me, since you did sales years ago, what did you find was most important?" And he told me, this was back in the day when you actually went into somebody's office. And he said, I would go into their office and I would look at their pictures and I'd build a relationship with them. It all comes back to relationship building sales. It was important back then, and it's just as important, if not more, right now. People are starving for human connection. This creates connection. So I will leave with you Brad Sugar's quote. Business is all about relationships. How well you build them determines how well they build your business. Thank you for tuning in to Snack Leadership. I hope you felt inspiration, motivation, and felt your mindset spark. Snack Leadership is recorded and produced by myself, Ali Camilletti, and music by Shireen Amini.